What's happening, YouTube? This is a response video to Convert Operative. He's made a comment about me in the BDA comment section. I think it was the last podcast we did. And you know me, guys, I like to come swinging back, so I'm going to do exactly that in this video. And it's directed at Low Place, some of the comments he made as well. I mean, it's hard to debate Low Place because you actually lose the will to live, never mind talk. The conversation's all over the place. He drains you. He comes out with bizarre comments, you know, and it's not a very nice experience. I mean, even when I went back to listen to it, I could barely listen to it for more than 10 minutes. You know, it was just shocking. So there's a few things I never got to say to Low Place, and he's going to get it as well, because these clowns are making statements, and they better have done their research, because it's all well and good making a statement and saying these things about me, but you know me, I'm going to come back and I'm going to expect research, because I'm going to do mine, and that's exactly what I've done. So let's get on to this comment that this clown Convert Operative has said. He's obviously like Low Place, one of them Showtime fanboys. If it's not on Showtime, I'm not watching it. You know what I mean? You know the one. Let's be real. If it's not an American brother, they're not interested. And he's one of them. And he's took this dig at me, and he's put, Stu's horrendous boxing knowledge was well documented in this show. 1. The history of HBO, Showtime and ESPN, sorry. Historic cards and current roster of fighters. 2. Showtime's high viewing figures. Remember he said that. Showtime's high viewing figures for Wilder and other US fighters. 3. Market value of fighters and negotiation tactics. This guy just likes the sound of his own voice and substitutes humour for insight. Well, he's got one thing right. I do like the sound of my own voice, because when I'm speaking, Low Place isn't, and that's a great thing for everyone. Yeah, and thank God I do like the sound of my own voice, or the show would have been even worse. I mean, it was dreadful as it is. So God knows what it would have been if I kept quiet, because this guy was just coming out with bizarre statements. And don't get me wrong, he has a little bit of knowledge, but he muffles it all up with garbage, so it's hard to pick the knowledge out. But this guy's obviously not mentioned anything at Low Place has said, but he's picked me out for 2 things I've said, and I've got a feeling he's talking about when I said Mikey fought for HBO, when I got that wrong. But let's be real, Mikey's fought how many times recently, and why would I give a fuck what network they're on when I'm in the UK? When Sky and Box Nation show, I usually get their commentary and their footage, so as long as I can see it, and why would I give a fuck? But you guys have made it a Showtime v HBO thing, and it's just divide and conquer with you guys. I mean, you've made it Wilder Joshua, UK, US, Showtime, HBO. I mean, fucking hell, guys, man. Just enjoy the sport. I mean, you guys are actually close to breaking down. I'm sure you're on pills to keep you sane. I mean, getting all upset over boxing all the time. But let's get on to this comment he's put about me, and let's hit him with some facts, because if you're going to make statements about me, you better have done your research to back these statements, because I know I've done mine. So first we're going to talk about the fighters of HBO versus Showtime, because I made a comment that I think HBO fighters are better. Low Place said that Showtime are smashing HBO at the walk with the views and the events. Maybe they are putting on more events. HBO seem to have lost their love for the sport. Let's just say that. But I made a comment based on talent. HBO seem to have gone all over the world to get talent. They were quite smart. They could see that there was no money in these American boxers. I mean, the heavyweight champion of the world couldn't fill a school gym, never mind a stadium. So this is where we are. So HBO have been quite smart. They know a lot of these fighters weren't worth the money that they're getting paid. I mean, let's be real. Haymon spent $500 million giving these fighters away to networks, actually paying the networks to put these guys on to get them some sort of name, and they've still really not gone anywhere, have they? You've got Errol Spence there, but if you're going to pay Errol Spence $4 million to fight a chump, what money are you getting back in return? If the fight's free, like you said, well, Low Place keeps telling me free. Same with Danny Garcia, the guy gets $4 million free, but where's the money coming back? No, I give a fuck. I don't care if Showtime make money or not. But you're talking about how great Showtime are doing and how crap HBO are, but HBO are looking at the numbers and they don't add up. Half these Showtime fighters, you could stick them in an auction and all you'd hear is not sold. Because the figures don't add up. And you've just got to look at this pound for pound list from the Ring magazine. I've gone to the Ring magazine. I don't care if you agree with it or not. I'm just using one. I can't get them all out. I'll be here all fucking day. I'm using this one. If you don't like it, switch off. But number 1, Gennady Golovkin. Number 2, Vasyl Lomachenko. Number 3, Terence Crawford. Now, before we even move on, the first 3 in that list are all HBO fights. Yes, they fought on ESPN, but we know when they're in a big fight, as a pay-per-view fight, they're going on HBO. They're HBO fighters. They've fought for HBO most of their careers. So don't try and slip ESPN in for one fight and then make out ESPN are carrying these fighters around, because it ain't happening. So they're HBO fighters. Not Showtime, not ESPN, HBO fighters. They might, Bob Arum, that was an advertising trick that he done there. He gave ESPN Lomachenko and Crawford to, you know, it's a bit of a marketing sweetener, shall we say. But they'll be back on HBO. Number 4, Alexander Usyk. I'm not sure what network he fights on. My guess, he probably they don't even show his fights, because you know what Americans are like. They'd rather watch Devon Alexander and Broner and chumps like that than watch one of the best fighters in the world, Usyk. They don't like European fights, do they? Let's be real. They never show them. So Usyk, I might be wrong, and if I am wrong, I apologise. But my guess, Usyk wasn't on American TV. The Zone might get his fights from now on, I should think. Number 5, Mikey Garcia. The first that Showtime I've got on the list. He wouldn't be on my list, just put it that way, because he's not fought anyone of any relevance. Like, yes, he beat Broner, but who hasn't? You know, is he a pay-per-view fighter? No, I don't know. Maybe in a big fight, yes. Maybe in a big fight he can be. He gets paid a lot of money. Is he going to bring that money back to Showtime on a free event? No. So I'm struggling to see how Showtime are making money with their fighters, because and Haymon. Haymon's making his money by taking his 10% out of the purses. So he's still making money, but he's spending other people's money. He's not, you know, he's not bringing anything back to the business for me. I don't care. The numbers just don't add up. You don't need to be a fucking mathematician to work this out. Mikey Garcia is going to want 4 million to fight, and his opponent's going to want 500 grand. And you know, you can only make so much out of a gate. So he's the first Showtime fighter, Mikey. Big name, Mexican backing. But we're going to have a look at the views later, see what his views are saying. But he could be a star. Number 6, Inui, HBO fighter. Number 7, Rung Vasai, HBO. Seen him a few times on HBO. Also Inui. Number 8, Errol Spence Jr. Like I've just said, the guy gets paid a lot of money to fight nobodies. So he gets good viewings, but like I said, you're always going to get half decent viewings when you're putting American fighters on free American TV. It's not fucking rocket science. You're going to get decent numbers, but nowhere near the numbers that American stars should be getting. So a lot of these fighters on Showtime are not really big names, and the figures will show that. Number 9's Kovalev, HBO. Number 10, Nietis, Donny Nietis from the Philippines. He's number 10. He made his debut on HBO a little while back, if I remember right. So he's HBO. So we've got 2 Showtime fighters in the top 10 pound for pound list of the Ring magazine. So when I say HBO have the better fighters, they clearly have. And put Munguia and Ward when he comes back. There's a few more that you can put on that list. Chocolatito. HBO just got a lot better talent, but because you see these guys are not American, you don't want to watch them. That's the difference between fanboy and a true boxing fan. I'll watch fights from all over the world where you're not interested unless it's one of your brothers. So we've looked at the pound for pound list, and Showtime are not really saying much. Let's look at the figures, because you know, you mentioned the big views that Showtime are getting. Wilder and other American fighters are smashing it with the views, and you know, let's have a look at some of these views. I've got a list here. We'll start from the 11th. Sorry, we'll start from February to March. We'll start there. Deontay Wilder tops that one on March the 3rd against Luis Ortiz. He got 1.1 million on Showtime. But here's the funny thing, you know, Showtime are smashing it. But February the 17th, Devon Alexander versus Victor Ortiz, 1.1 million. So Devon Alexander versus Victor Ortiz managed to scoop up the same views as Wilder v Luis Ortiz. So that was on Fox. So, you know, you keep telling me Showtime blowing everyone up, but you can't blow Devon Alexander out the way. And that's your heavyweight champion, the guy that can't fill out a school gym. Let's go down the list. February the 3rd, Gilberto Ramirez v Habib Ahmed, 741k, ESPN. Lucas Matisse v Tawa Karam, 719k, HBO. But here's the funny thing. Here's the funny thing. Errol Spence versus Lamont Peterson on Showtime. You know, the big star, Errol Spence. The guy's on $4 million. He got 637 grand. This is average showing, by the way. All of it's average, but don't matter. We got to go by figures, what they're showing us. Errol Spence versus Lamont Peterson, 637k. So Errol Spence couldn't even beat Lucas Matisse on HBO. You wanted to bring figures into this, boys, and we're going to carry on. I know it's supposed to be getting embarrassing for you and Low Place. If I was Low Place, time this video's guys, definitely closed my channel down the statements he was making. But let's move on, because Showtime's it's the monster of boxing broadcasting apparently, and the views are massive, and so we're gonna have a look. Rungvisai v Estrada, 639k on HBO, which is good, decent views for small guys. Raymond Beltran and Moses did 703k on ESPN. So HBO and ESPN are holding their own with Showtime. I thought Showtime was the big one. Kovalev v Mikhalkin, 599k. That's not bad on HBO for a meaningless fight. Danny Garcia, you know, one of Showtime's big names. He's another big star. Him versus Brandon Rios, a Mexican, 516,000 on Showtime. So not great numbers, is it? I thought I was expecting to see 3 or 4 million on some of these. You know, that's the numbers I'm expecting to see. Let's go down the list, because I've got to go down the list here. There's a few more here. You want to talk about figures? We're talking about figures. Let's move on. I have to scroll through the pages, so just bear with me. Yeah. Right, hang on. Gilberto Ramirez versus Habib Ahmed, 741k ESPN. Oh, I think I've already read that out. Yeah, I have read that. Sorry, I need to go on to the next page. Yeah. Right. Here we go. Well, I've got Ryan Garcia, Fernando Vargas, 400k on ESPN. Jose Ramirez versus Amir Imam, 480k. ESPN are not doing bad figures. It's not exactly smashing it out of the water. Dillian White v Lucas Brown on HBO. Average viewership 427,000. So that's not bad viewing for for a Brit and an Aussie. I mean, it's better than some of the Americans do. Well, let's put it here. Lara Heard did 490k on Showtime. Dillian White, Lucas Brown did nearly that on HBO. I thought this Showtime was the one to be on. I thought this is where everyone was watching their boxing. Don't sound it, are you? Fucking hell. Brona Vargas, 782k. Not too bad. DeGale Truax, 469k. See, these American fighters, I mean, they can barely, you know, these stars of America can barely beat DeGale Truax. Like Jared Hurd, he's meant to be an up-and-coming star of America, you know, meant to be the best guy in the division, but he can barely beat DeGale Truax on views. Charlo did 518k. Davis v. Quella did 460k. I mean, these Jacob Selecki did 811k on HBO. Miller Duarfis did 7. HBO got better views, man. What are you on about Showtime? Low Place he just spews sound bites, mate. You don't even think what you're saying. You don't even do any research. Yeah, Miller Duarfis 700. Miller Duarfis actually did more than Charlo and Davis. You know, actually, no, Broner just did a bit more. Lopez versus Cruz, 839k on Fox. Right, let's move on. So I'll get a bit boring with the numbers, but these guys want to bring out numbers. Golovkin versus Martirosyan on HBO did 1.2 million. Golovkin fighting Martirosyan did more views than the heavyweight champion of the world against Ortiz. Say no more. Say no more, man. Valdez Quigg did 1.1 million on ESPN. Valdez versus Quigg did the same views as Deontay Wilder versus Ortiz. Did a lot more than Spence. And where's all these stars that Showtime have got? Linares Lomachenko, 1.2 million on ESPN. Ali V Munguia, Munguia, shall I say? I can see it Munguia, but it's Munguia. 711k. Vargas v Zat, 619k on both on HBO. I mean, fucking HBO killing them. Cruz v Mares 2, 600k on Showtime. Charlo Trout, 532k. I mean, let's be real, man. Fucking hell, Charlo can't even beat Vargas v Zat. Vargas versus Azat. He couldn't even do that. Shocking views, man. Shocking. I think we nearly, I think we're done here, boys. I mean, that's up to March the 15th. I'm gonna have to actually find the recent ones, but I had a look and I couldn't find them. But I've just named a few fights on Showtime for you, and getting blown out the water by HBO and ESPN by the look of it. But I'll take your word for it, Low Place. Showtime smashing it. Anyway, I'm out of here. School time's over.